What's up guys, Barry Game here, back with some more AFK Journey, and today we are in the endless mode of the Alpha Bear. Now this whole week we are in endless in just about every single game mode out there, so we're going to be seeing what the best team compositions are, and we're going to test them out, and by the end of the video we should have a pretty good idea of what works best, at least for our account, and then you guys can try to emulate that yourselves. So here's what we're going to try to do. First off, we are going to run a very traditional team, and we're going to go with the strategy that involves Florabelle, getting a bunch of her summons out and things like that, prolonging the battle just a little bit, and we're going to go with the good old-fashioned strategy of swapping in the Coco. So let's start with this team first and see how it actually performs. Then we're going to try it with a different artifact, and then we're going to go back to one of the more traditional double damage dealer teams that has someone like Marilee on it. So we'll swap the heroes out in our residence so that we have a perfect one-to-one reference here. And so far I've seen this team right here doing very well. It's kind of the go-to strategy that we've had for pretty much all of this since like Alpha Bear even came out. Granted, we used to run Marilee instead of Florabelle. Florabelle seems to be the better option here, but again, we really don't know until we fully test this out. Of course, we're on endless mode, so the goal here is to get a minimum of 20 million damage, because 20 million damage is going to get you all the rewards on the bar. Again, it's only one time, so it's not like you need to be able to do it every time, but of course, the better your ranking, the better this is going to be able to perform. And let's see how this turns out. The Odie is still alive. Florabelle almost went down there. We're hitting 18 million damage. I feel like we should be able to hit 20 million here. The shields from Coco, the healing from Smokey seem to be pretty much required. I don't think you can do without Smokey in this situation at this point. And yeah, we did fall a little bit short, and we were running the evocation spell. So that's not too bad. You can see how the damage kind of breaks down here. Let's jump on over. Let's do the same team. Let's try a couple different things. Let's first go to the old school Star Shard spell, because let's be honest, this artifact is still absolutely amazing, and a lot of times it's actually like still the best in slot for pushing AFK battles, for boss battles, just because of the amount of damage it does. Because of course, every 3 times you cast an ultimate, you're doing damage, and then deals damage to enemies and reduces their attack speed after allies use their ultimates a certain number of times, which means you're not taking as much damage because the incoming damage is coming at a slower pace. So again, we're going to try this with Florabelle. We might try 1 or 2 more artifacts in this current setup to see how it turns out. Granted, you do have to remember there is some RNG involved here, so thoroughly testing this out on your own account with the different artifact combinations is definitely going to be necessary. But this one is looking very promising damaging wise. We're already up to 18.5. Smokey has survived here as well. So this might definitely be, well, no, we're starting to die off about the same time, although we did hit the 20 million mark with this artifact, and we're actually getting a new record here right now from what I was doing earlier. So that's a good sign right there. Almost hitting 21 million, and the Florabelle summons somehow still alive. Rainier almost pushes it to 21 million, so right out of the gate there, Star Shard spell definitely feels like a good addition to this team. Let's do one last one, because of course, what would the test be without using Crescent spell when using a magic damage dealer like Odie? But granted, we're only using 1 magic damage dealer, so I don't know exactly how this is going to play out. Let's see how this works. So Florabelle is going to still be doing physical damage, I believe, so it's not like it's really helping her. It's really just mainly based on the damage that Odie is doing. And of course, if you don't know, this little spirit bomb back here is basically the ability. It does extra damage in an AoE based on the number or the amount of damage that is being done, that is done as magic damage. So you can see as the damage the bar goes up, the spirit bomb gets bigger, or I guess it looks more like a Rasengan, right? I feel like it's more of a Rasengan than a Spirit Bomb, but whatever. Let's see how the damage turns out here as well. And again, sometimes RNG can play a little bit of a factor, so these damage numbers might not be exact if you ran them all 10 times each. But we only have limited number of attempts. We can't waste gold on stuff like that right now. So it looks like so far, though, this actually might be the go-to. Are we actually going to time out? No, he's slowly starting to beat us down. Holy cow, this is, yeah, Crescent Spell definitely playing a huge role, so that is interesting. 21 1.7, what is it, billion or million? Billion, yeah. Pretty good damage right there. So that is all the Floribel attempts we're going to do. Let's try to mix this up with some other heroes. So the second team we're going to try out is kind of what everybody used to run on this a lot of times, and that was throwing the Marilee in, having a double damage dealer setup. However, lately we found that the summons from Floribel have kind of treated us better, and on top of that, I believe Floribel has that season buff that increases the damage taken by targets that take damage from her basic attack, so that is kind of a big boost right there. The question is, can our team survive as well without having all those summons on the battlefield? So we're going to try a few different things here just to see how this works out. As far as damage incoming goes, doesn't seem significantly different, but you got to remember most of the damage starts ramping up in the second half of the battle. Coco got a good shield off on Odie just in time to, or not Odie, sorry, Smokey just in time to keep him alive. Marilee is kind of taking a lot of damage here, and Marilee does go down, but just because you don't live as long doesn't necessarily mean you're going to do less damage, because you can potentially do even more damage in a shorter battle if you just have a ton of damage coming in, and it's still pretty close. I don't think Floribel is like a must-have here, and honestly, if we use a different artifact now that we're using Marilee, it might be a little bit different. But again, that was still a pretty good damaging run. It was just a slight amount lower, and Marilee really did take the cake there. My goodness. So Marilee with that true damage, like they said, the developer said there isn't really a nerf to true damage dealers. You just kind of have to wait till you get to endless mode to really see it come true, and Marilee might be the better option here, because you have to remember, my investment on Marilee and my investment on Odie are identical on this account. They have the same resonance level, they have the same everything. Let's see if this artifact then does better, because this one gives more generic buffs, the evocation spell. Also gives some survivability when they get some life drain too, which means this could be the go-to new squad. Maybe we focus more on Marilee and drop the Odie. Maybe we run a different combination of heroes. Maybe Korin even makes a comeback here. That would be intriguing. You can see the life drain kind of worked good there. About the same damage here. Odie actually has a better time surviving here. The only downside of putting Marilee in is we kind of lose a better aura here, but you can see the damage looks pretty much better than we were doing with the solo Odie run with Floribel. So, you know what that means next. We need to keep testing Marilee to see if she continues to stay on top here. So the next thing we have to do, we have to come back over here since we have to play with the residents. Let's put in a Floribel, leave Marilee as the main damage dealer, and go down to a one main damage dealer / support type setup. So we're going to do something like this instead, and we might as well use evocation spell, but Quick Blade might be good in this situation too. Let's try both and see how this turns out. We'll go first evocation spell, because it's just one of the most flexible offensive and defensive artifacts in the game for a good generic type. It doesn't matter if you have physical damage dealers, magic damage dealers, it's just very well rounded. So let's see how this does with the Floribel potentially giving us more survivability here by having those additional summons, not taking as much AoE damage, while Marilee is the one that's going to go crazy and do all the damage. Now, we really lose out here. We go down to a 3 faction aura, down from a 4 with using Marilee and Odie, down from a 5 when we were using Odie and oh shoot, actually no, we aren't dropping too bad. It's actually not that bad. We're going from like a 4 to a 3, so yeah, not too bad at all. We are still surviving. Everybody's alive. We're about to hit 20 million or 20 billion damage. I probably said million a lot so far. Marilee is still surviving, and this actually looks like it might be the new combo right here to get to 22 for us. We're still alive as well. Yeah, we hit 22, which means we're going to break into the top 10 with this team right here, which means, honestly, I don't think I'm even going to try running an Alsa here, which I normally try to run Alsa. This seems pretty good. That was some solid damage right there, and it's all thanks to the Marilee comp, really. The only other thing I could potentially think about doing is dropping out and changing one more thing. But oh wait, hold on, no, I forgot. We got 3 more attempts. So we're gonna do 1 attempt here using the Quick Blade spell, and then we'll finally change and try one last hero. We'll try throwing the old school Korin and Marilee combo back in to see if it can beat out maybe even the Odie combo. But again, remember, most of these heroes we have here are plus 10 exclusives at Supreme Plus, so they are very much equal side grades. They're very equal in overall power, so it's kind of nice to test in this situation. This might be better because we're lowering the enemy's physical defense here, so this could be good. I don't think going the old strategy with like a Kruger over Florbell could ever be good in this situation. Kruger really took a hit with the seasonal buffs and how many other heroes now buff the damage that the enemies take, so it doesn't quite work out as often here. The other thing I really like about Quick Blade is the fact that it has built-in attack and crit, and on top of that, it has like the biggest physical and magic defense bonuses for overall just survivability on your team, and it works out really good. Sadly, the Odie dropped right there. Oh, that was really bad. I think the Odie almost got the shield from the fluffy shield like cooldown or whatever. That was so close. But it is very close in damage. It might actually have gone over and done better damage if that timing was just tweaked a little bit. But again, some of that might come down to the point of the artifact not doing what exactly needs to do. So the last test with Marilee, which is kind of interesting because it now seems like Marilee is the go-to setup here, is to swap this hero out for Korin. Korin, of course, still provides some shielding and stuff and some survivability to his team. So let's see what this looks like, and let's go back, I think, once again to the evocation spell. Let's see how this turns out. You can run Korin in this composition as well because he has a range of 2, and you only need to make sure you have only 1 target in range of 1. Or I should say 1 hero. You can have summons and stuff in range 1, but you don't want more than 1 hero within range 1. And Korin works out great because he is actually range 2 with his long spear here. And he also does true damage just like Marilee. So we'll have to see if this team works out, because again, he'll be able to provide additional shielding specifically to Smokey, because Smokey usually has some of the lowest HP on our team. And when he does that jump back, he provides the shield. And if we can keep that shield, even though Smokey's health is dropping to the point where Coco's shield pops up, we're going to be in a really good spot for survivability. So right there, you see that? He jumped back, I think, and covered the Smokey and made sure he didn't die on that big one. And holy cow, this is why we said true damage is coming back. We survived yet again, which means this damage is going to be insanely higher than what we have previously seen. We lived almost to the end of the battle with the Marilee, and the Korin is still going. True damage reigns supreme. Yes, they are back and they are on top by a long shot. Look at the damage right there. And the best part is you get a better bonus aura here too, faction bonus, because you have 2 from there. So that pushed us all the way up to 2nd place. I want to try one more thing here. I wonder if increasing and using this new one here will help. This gives attack, crit, and a big amount of HP. This gives the same amount of HP attack, but attack speed. It's lower attack, but attack speed. It's only ranked 17. We're going to use our last attempt to see if this might be better, because of course the faster they attack, the faster they get to their ultimates, which might give us that little bit better survivability on the timing of everything. And if we can keep the Marilee alive to the very end, that might net us even more damage. And it's crazy to see that we're actually going to hit rank 1. I'm still going to have to push later today when we finish getting the resonance of all of our heroes up to our maximum on the day, but this was a very good run right here. I'm kind of like really paying attention. This is why I stopped talking. This is more for my own research as well here. I knew most of the other things would happen. This is the one I don't know, is this new artifact, how it can potentially perform. They're still alive and they're already at 22 million or billion at... Korin actually kept the Smokey alive. Holy cow, I didn't think I'd actually continue to use Korin on this account, though. That's the one thing that really surprises me. 15 seconds left. Marilee does go down again right there. So yeah, it doesn't look like it's as potent. Still, like, just dashing spell could be better, maybe when it's upgraded a little bit further. But yeah, Korin Korin is amazing, putting us at rank 2. Hopefully you guys enjoy this one. That seems to be the go-to here. I'll jump in just to show you it one last time, our exact setup that did the best damage right here. Evocation spell with this squad, level 430 basically on everybody except our Reinier's at 423, not quite maxed out. This seems to be better than any Odie composition by a long shot. Hopefully you guys enjoy this one. I'll see you guys next time.